Yo, what up, y'all? Thank y'all so much for dropping by, man. So, I'm just about to dive in and let y'all know what's going down out here in these motor streets, man. So, I just want to talk about the hype. Yeah, about the V8s, the Hemis, the Trackhawks, the Hellcats, the TRX Ram, the Charger, them eliminating and xing out the Challenger, the 300, 392, getting rid of all of gas engines with the Charger, going all in on EV, which was a total disaster, was a flop from day one. It was DOA. That's right, it was dead. It was dead on arrival. Yeah, no fans ever wanted that thing. We already told Stellantis, we told Dodge, we wrote Dodge, we asked them, we emailed Dodge, we sent airmail, we went to Dodge's front office and said, please do not release the EV. What do they do? Release the EV. Anyway, what do they do? And to double down on what we did not ask for, what do they do? They come out with the inline six. They come out with a lower trim level. They're supposed to be releasing the 4-door sedan. And then not only that, they want to bring the 2-door out that the fan base have been asking since the 70s. They've been asking since the 70s, but they're going to make it an EV and an inline six. They don't even put the V8 in there. They don't even put the 5.7 in there. But wait, there's more. This is what I mean by when I say, are they still hyped about hearing about the Hellcat when it comes to pricing in this economy? Yeah, the market is down. You're charging top dollar for Hellcats, but your lower trim levels, the lower trim levels, that's not anything that we asked for. Oh yeah, but wait, there's more. They want to force these EVs, hybrids when it came to the Hornet. We didn't want a Hornet. Why didn't you bring back the Dodge Magnum? Why didn't you make that an SUV? It was a wagon. It would make more sense. But you want to bring back a Tenali because you want to swap out Dodge for Alfa Romeo. But wait, there's more. They canceled the 300. We finally got a 392 back. We finally got a Hemi 392 SRT product back in the 300. That wasn't good enough for the CEOs at Stellantis. No, they want more. They want to push their agenda so bad down our throat, right? They want to push this agenda, this EV hybrid, no V8, cancel the whole entire slate. Like no one asked for that. Who asked for that? I want to meet the man. I want to meet the person. But wait, I forgot they fired him. Oh yeah, you get fired for destroying a working progress, a working product. Everyone was hyped around it, a whole entire Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram products. We had everything. We had the whole entire slate. But now they canceled it. They canceled all of the V8s. Then they want to give you hybrids and inline six and EVs, something the fan base never asked for. The fans have been asking, why did you just go cold turkey with the V8s and the Hemis? Everybody's been wanting to know that. They was like, what was the call? Like you couldn't even leave the V6 around, the top seller. You couldn't even leave the V6 in the Chargers. You decided we're going to bring back the Charger Hellcat, but we're going to triple the price. But we're gonna force the inline on you because we know if we bring the V6 out, the inline isn't gonna sell. If they bring the 5.7 liter Hemi, then the inline still is not gonna sell. Nobody's gonna want it. So what do? Yes, they want to compete with their foreign competitors because that's a foreign company that owns an American brand. So now Dodge is considered to be a foreign company. So that's why it doesn't make sense with these trim levels that we have. It's like it's so confusing to the buyers, to the masses, to the people that is a diehard Mopar fan, American Muscle. This does not make any sense with this lineup. It's so confusing. It's like, okay, are they going to bring back the Duster, a Neon, Avenger? What is the small trim level car that you have to bring out that's more affordable? You refuse to make a Dodge Charger cheap. You refuse to bring the Challenger back out. I've heard through the grapevine, through some, articles. I may need to stop by the bookstore again. But when they had the lineup, they did say that the 300 is supposed to be making a return. when I was reading articles, and I was just like, I don't know. I mean, the way things are going right now, this economy, the 300 is going to start at 50, 60K probably as well. And they're going to continue to blame it on tariffs and, the economy is crashing. Everything is overpriced. It's corporate greed. Let's just call it capitalism. Come on. It's corporate greed. You just seen the opportunity, after the vid hit, in 2019 up until now, you seen the opportunity to milk the fan base. Let's just call it what it is. Everybody just stop beating around the bush. Corporate greed. These greedy bastards at the top of Stellantis, they destroyed the brand due to their pride and ego, due to the hard-headedness. They had the top trim levels. They had the Hellcats. They had the Trackhawks, the TRX, the RTs, the Scat Packs. They had it going on at Dodge, at Mopar, at Chrysler, Jeep and Ram. They even brought out 392 Jeeps. The SRT Jeeps. They had the Durangos. They were on fire. And Stellantis came out and put their fire out because they want the foreign brands to do better. And they may be getting what they want now because they completely Dodge just went off a cliff right now, bro. Like they are hanging on with a thread, bro. If Dodge make one more wrong move, just one more, it's over. The Charger will be canceled, but they probably would just keep the Durango around. Did you not see that Infiniti is bringing back the Q60, the sedan? People want cars as well. You eliminated your brand. Infiniti always had cars. And now these last few years, they just canceled all of them. See what happened when you have the wrong CEOs in charge of companies? They run them into the ground. That's why they got him up out of there. They got him out the front office because he was not listening. He was not listening to the masses. He was not listening to the fans. He didn't see who he was catering to when it comes to America. He only knew, foreign cars. He only want these inline i4s, i6, V6 turbo engines. And that's the starting trim levels. The top trim levels, okay, now you can get a V8 if you're willing to pay 100, 200,000 for one. In between that, let's just call it for what it is. In between 100,000 to 200,000 markups. If you're willing to pay that for a V8, why am I going to even consider looking at a Charger at this point? You might as well just write it off. If you're not going to bring the V6 or i4 Hurricane engine, or bring the V6 back, or just make a base model, Hurricane engine that don't have any turbos, pushing out 300 horsepower. I don't know what you're doing at this point. You can make a base model, Hurricane engine without the turbos, 300 horsepower. I'm pretty sure you can squeeze out 300 horsepower in that engine, because when you go look at the engine, that engine costs a lot of money to make. BMW does it all the time. They have 300 to with their B58s engines, they have 300 to 360, 370 horsepower you can squeeze out of those inline engines. And we know Dodge can do it. If anybody can tune that engine to give it plenty of power, just base model inline engine, is Dodge. But they don't want to, I don't think they want to do that, because they know you would just buy the base model and scrap some turbos on there and blow the doors off of, the RT. Because I think they got a Scat Pack inline. They got an RT. The RT is going to come out with the 4-door with 420 horsepower-ish. Still going to be pretty quick, probably all-wheel drive. That is a cool feature that we always ask, why did they make a GT Hellcat? You remember back in the day they had a Charger GT. They had a Charger GT, was all-wheel drive, and an all-wheel drive Charger and Challenger for the snowbirds to drive around, right? So we're thinking, why didn't they bring out a GT Hellcat? But now it's so overpriced. Is the hype dead? Is Dodge hype? Is the Hellcat SRT hype dead? That's what the moral of the story is. It's they killed off the brand so bad, I don't hear no hype around Dodge at all. Zero. Zilch. So they put a man in office, Carlos, at the top of Stellantis front office, to eliminate V8s due to emissions. Lawmakers and politicians follow all of their guidelines. Now, note, they followed every last guideline, but they still are overcharging for the cars. Why? I'm confused. If you're charging the same price for an inline six engine twin turbo as a V8, why not just dump the V8s back in there anyway? You're charging 50 to 60K at a base model. The base model charger is probably going to be at the tag title and taxes still at 60, 65K. That's way too much for the average buyer that's looking to even consider buying a charger. No matter how big the fan is going to be like, wait a minute. This is way overpriced. The pricing has to come down. There's no way you can give a person a product and overprice it that they never asked for. That because you're not catering to the right fan base. You're catering to a foreign fan base, competitors, Mercedes, Beamer, Audi, Porsche. And then if you look at their trim level, their bottom trim level, see, BMW, Stellantis want Dodge to be BMW because they know that was one of the hottest products that they had on the market, was that Charger and Challenger Hellcat. But they eliminated the Challenger. All eyes are on the Charger to see what the Charger is going to do. We know they're going to go at Corvette one day with the Hellcats. We know they're going to go at Mustang with the Dark Horse and the Shelbys and the Super Snakes. We know that's coming. But the pricing is killing the hype. Let's just call it what it's turning too many people away from Dodge. It's turning all the Mopar guys. We just want to go back to normal days, bro. Like the 2015 and down. Like why do you have to overprice scrap metal, these inlines and these EV scrap metal lot rot? You're overpricing stuff we don't want. That's why you're going to have to sell them off to the auction and get pennies on the dollar for them. Because we ain't want it anyways. Then they want to blame it on us to say we don't want to be innovative. We don't want to evolve. We don't want to keep up with the times. We're old school. We're dinosaurs. If you don't accept the inline and the EV, you're a dinosaur. Like, it's not that we don't accept it. We don't accept you forcing it on us. And I know you heard that. And I know Dodge, they heard this a lot of times already. They heard it. They heard it loud and clear. We got 3 of the biggest Mopar guys in the industry. They're on Dodge tail and they're helping them get their fan base. They're trying to, they were the only ones. We have 3 guys in the Mopar industry that's keeping Dodge alive. Outside of those guys, nobody really cares. Everybody is trashing and bashing Dodge. And now they're the little brother that can never keep up with the big brothers, with Ford and GM. They're always going to be tagging along. Can I come and play? They're going to be like, no, stay home, you little brat. That's what, you're too slow. You can't keep up with us anymore. Because of your owner, you have bad leadership, bad management. Killed the hype. There's no more hype for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram unless you bring the V8s back and stop this inline obsession. This bull crap. They are so obsessed with this inline 6 hybrids and EVs. It's an addiction. It's like a drug. It's like they cannot get over it. It's like a high that they cannot get over. Like, I have to make this work. We have to force this on our top trim levels as the Hellcats, because we know everybody, that's the cars that they want. Think about it. They ruined the brand. Like, nobody cares anymore about the Charger. You eliminated the Challenger, the Chrysler 300. That was the triplets. You had 3 cars there. Now you're down to 1 that you completely destroyed, turning into an EV scrap metal trash that needs to go to the junkyard immediately, ASAP, SOS. Like, please, the Mopar community has spoken. They don't want the scrap metal. They don't want Duracell batteries, okay? Going down the road looking like a brick going down the road, an accident, a disaster waiting to happen. You can't crank them. They're hard to charge sometimes. The charging ports are all messed up because they don't have the infrastructure at these gas stations and places and food markets and places. It's like they're trying to be innovative and be cheap at the same time. This ain't Dollar General. It's like, how you gonna be innovative and broke at the same time? Like that don't make any sense. The country is in debt. The cost of living is up. Gas is up. You ain't trying to give us no deals, no incentives. You want to charge top dollar. You're trying to squeeze every last penny out of your fan base, because you made a mistake. You didn't listen to the fan base. You were hard-headed and stubborn. And like I always tell people, the only thing billionaires and millionaires and trillionaires listen to is when their bank accounts crash, is when they're going broke. That's the only time they listen. They do not listen until the people protest and stand up for what they believe in. When their bank accounts get hit hard and they start bleeding money, leaking money like a leaking faucet, then they listen. So this was bound to happen. They needed this to happen. They needed to crash the market. They needed Dodge Chargers to fail. Even we didn't want the Dodge Charger to fail. Now, don't get it twisted. We never wanted that. But the hype is dead. There's no more. Is it still any hype for the Hellcat overpriced Chargers? I just want to know. I don't really see much. I see a couple people a little excited about it, but they're still like deterred. It's like it's turning them away because it's like, man, this price is going to be like over $100K. That don't sound good. Like me buying a house, I'm gonna need 2 houses now. You're gonna have to be making $6-8 grand a month. Like to afford a charger in your house and your family and your bills, everything that it comes with. Like, bro, come on, it's not worth it. They're going to be leasing these things out like hotcakes, but it's only going to be a few out there, and nobody is really thrilled about the new design. They're not hyped. They're like the old models. It's like they didn't have to even go that far futuristic looking. It don't compete with the old models. You got other people asking for the Challenger 170 build kits, like kits to boost it so that it can keep up with the, Corvette, ZR1 and ZR1X. They want the kits, the drag kits for that. They want to stop at 2023 and go back down. They don't even want these new Chargers. But Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram, they got to get it together. The Durango is still selling like hotcakes. It's still one of the hottest Dodge products because they didn't change anything. And I know Dodge is noticing that. They're like, why is everybody still on the Durango when we have a new Charger out here? Nobody wants that thing because you know for a fact you're not putting the right products in there. You're not putting the right engine trim levels in there. You're not putting the V6 back in there. You didn't even make a base model inline engine, not a turbo with just 300 horsepower. You didn't even put that in there. So why didn't you make a base model inline engine if you wanted to sell them so bad? It was to push an agenda. And this is what happens. Lot rot. So is the Dodge Charger Hellcat hype dead? We'll find out soon.